simply observe the way that my receiver is presenting themselves. I'll adjust the feet so that it's a comfortable distance for me when I start palming the feet. And then just take an opportunity to observe her. Notice what I notice. And I always like to look at the breath, notice the receiver's breath. If you start breathing with your receiver, that's one energetic way that you can tune in to one another. Inviting the wisdom of the principles of touch into this offering. I'll begin by centering myself. And for this practice, I'm going to use one principle primarily to focus on. So for me, I'm going to focus on fullness of touch. The more contact, the better. So I begin at the instep of the foot. I offer my first touch with firmness and gentleness. The softness is the feeling of my hands on the feet being relaxed, and the firmness is the body weight transferred through the bones. Straight arms, soft hands. And then I begin rocking from side to side, using the heel of my hand to massage the arch of the foot. As I mentioned earlier, if you apply perpendicular pressure here, you'll be at a slight angle away from your partner, and that's okay. So that you're not stacked with gravity, but rather creating a perpendicular line to the arch of the foot. As I walk in towards the inner ankle, I'm going to nest my touch by spreading my palm, presenting my hand, connecting, and then I do the little circle. And then that feels really good. I do the same thing, spread the palm, place my hand, nest, and then I can apply body weight. When it feels like there's a really natural fit there, I know that I can spread the weight out and apply more body weight by bringing more of my body vertical. So that's a nice static technique where we just pour body weight. I still feel that there is a fullness in the way that my hand connects, that my fingers are wrapping around. I'm going to work up the shin here, so I adjust my stance to half kneeling. And then I'll begin massaging on the inner shin line. I keep my fingers together. That helps me focus. And I use primarily the outer edge of my hand to palm just inside the shin bone on the calf muscle. This is a great opportunity for me to get into a rhythm with both my breath and the movement, so it's not too slow, but also slow enough that I can feel. You can turn your fingertips in, find a different position for your hands. Because I'm emphasizing the principle of fullness of touch, I'm going to actually keep my fingertips forward so that there's more contact. As I shift to the knees, I'm going to use my finger pads to feel the tendons and ligaments around the knee. Just a circular pattern, like an exaggerated version of the nest. Then from there, I begin working up the quads. Fingertips are turned out. We want to be polite, especially as we move around the sexual organs. So just safe space and respectful space there. Each time I place my hand, I'm going to feel that nesting happening. So it might be quite subtle if you're watching, but for me, I'm always keeping my attention there. Since the quads are big muscles, strong muscles, they can take pretty healthy amount of body weight. I can even walk my back leg further back so that my hips are lower, and that'll actually transfer more body weight into the leg. Get comfortable in this movement, forward and back, shifting from your front foot to your back knee, because you're about to become, anybody? The predator. Okay, so we'll rock. I'm trying to connect with a natural rhythm of my receiver's body so that I follow the wave. Can be quite subtle, like so. Can be bigger, like so. And the rocking technique is a great way to relax your partner if you feel that they're holding tension. I keep in contact as I move to different body parts. So I'm now holding the right leg with my right hand, right foot forward. Narrow lunge or a warrior stance. Then here I'll use my right hand to support the outer ankle, left hand on the instep of the foot, thumb finds the sole of the foot. I'm going to breathe in. As I breathe out, I give a firm squeeze and lean back. And I go slow. I turn up the volume slowly to get to a point of elasticity. I pause there. And then I watch her as I release. So you can see her neck move along with the rest. Each time I readjust my hands, I'm applying the technique that we were talking about to avoid skin burn. So I press the skin away, squeeze the skin towards the bone, and then lean back. When I touch the point of elasticity, I give a little pulse. And I repeat that one more time. Release. Here, emphasize using straight arms so that you use your legs to create the traction. And I'm going to step over the midline. One hand wraps over the top. This hand stays here. First, we see how far our partner stretches in their hamstrings. Then we take a step back, and we traction. So it's traction with a twist. It's like the rhetorical question teacher. He answers his own questions. So actually on Marie, I can feel her ankle popping in and out, so I know that she's got a loose ankle joint, so I'm not going to give her a lot of traction. We're going to switch to the other side, so I use my foot. Reason we practice tree pose, to release the foot down. And that's how I keep contact as I switch to the second side. Left foot forward, left hand to the outer ankle, right hand, thumb to the sole of the foot. Squeeze the skin to the muscle to the bone. Breathe in. Breathe out. I think she followed my breath cue, which is great. And then I gradually turn it up. Since I know that there's a lot of mobility in the ankle, I'm just going to take it slow. Release. I readjust my grip. And one of the things that's really helpful here is that I actually rest her leg on my thigh. Breathe in again. And breathe out. I go to a point of elasticity and I add a pulse. It's nice. One more time. So now I'm just in rhythm. So if you think of that body wave that we did earlier, eventually your treatment becomes a dance. The rhythm never stops. Can you feel the rhythm of the night? Is that Gloria Stefan? Back step. As you can see, her opposite shoulder is starting to come off the ground, so I'm going to do a little less. A little less. Right there. Okay. From here we can lower the foot down like we did with the first leg. One thing that's interesting to watch is the way the body decompresses when we release it back to Shavasana. Then I'm going to take both feet, kneel down on one knee, and drape the legs over my thigh. Here I'm in a position to support the legs over my thigh. That's a really comfortable position for most people. And then we're going to be working on the front of the shoulder here at the pec minor region. So we refer to this as lung 1. The English name is letting go. This is a great place to practice nesting your touch. And for me, I'm going to be continuing to feel for a fullness so that I remove any little gaps between my hand and my receiver's body. Notice the way that the mala hangs here. I want to drop my weight in the same angle as the mala. And then we'll do a static lean on one side. So I pause, exhale, inhale, full cycle of breath as I hold, exhale, inhale once again, and then as I exhale, I'll shift to the other side. Full cycle of breath, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, and you can repeat that. You move on the exhale, allow one full cycle of breath to happen, and then again. So I'm actually following her breath to decide when to move. Move on the exhale. I sit back. I use my finger pads over the tops of the shoulders. Catch and lean. I like to breathe in and exhale as I lean back. 3 times. You're in a really good place to palm along the forearms, and like I said, it's a magic time to take care of yourself, whether that means adjusting your feet and knees or wiping up some sweat off the brow. The pressure's on. Tape recorder. The heat, long sleeve t-shirt, excuses. And then here, after palming the forearms, I can just hold the wrists, give a little jiggle. The next technique that we'll do is a lever over the thigh, so that I'm going to float the sacrum off the ground. So I want to get the knee crease as much as possible on my thigh. And then I press down on the tops of the feet to create a lever. And you can see this hand here is supporting the thigh. So once again, I need to press firmly on the tops of the feet And in order to make sure my receiver is comfortable, I want to make sure it's her knee crease, not her calf muscle. That's on top of my thigh. Once that's happening, I can give a little rock forward and back. Like that. How's that feel?
Good.
Again, each time I touch, I use my whole hand. Fullness of touch. And then I slowly release. I allow the knees to fall, holding the ankles. So I'm not lifting the legs. This is where the legs are light. So you just let the legs fall with gravity. And then we let the knees open. Sometimes you give it a little invitation, like so. And then I'm going to take care of myself. So I stand nice and tall. I bring my hips in front of the feet. Rotate the toes in. And the toes will come behind the butt. I can inhale here. Exhale as I lean back. And I'm going to apply traction gradually. Once again. And then finish. To finish, I'll go back to where I began, right at the feet. I'll place my hands, and mostly, I'm going to use this as an opportunity to rebalance myself, just to relax my own body, to feel like I'm as relaxed as the receiver when we officially finish. So this is a nice opportunity for you to come back to a natural rhythm of breath, just to relax and to center yourself again. We'll finish with a few brushes down the legs. And then a final opportunity to acknowledge my partner, my receiver, to thank them for giving me the opportunity to practice. Sadhu.